Hi guys, Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Take a walk around the Neo 7x14 NAVR, shown here silver in color. Very few options on this. The only thing that would be options would be the aluminum wheels, the rear ramp door, and the side flow-through vents. Everything else on this unit is all standard equipment. Let's take a walk around the trailer. Show you all Neo's standards. A lot of things that we like about how they put these together. So up front we've got a 2 5/16 inch ball. You'll notice it is a zinc coupler, not a black coated coupler. Of course, safety chains. You got your sealed wire harness. Now this is a harness that's rated for down below 0, so it does stay a little bit more flexible. Also notice it's a dual prong connection instead of the single on the whip. It is a fully sealed wire harness. It's got a zinc jack, typical top line bottle jack, except it is a zinc coated. It's also got your safety breakaway system integrated into the triple tube tongue. So speaking of, it does have a tri-tongue. This is an integrated frame, totally different than most of what's on the market. So instead of the tongue being underneath the frame, it actually integrates in. It's a lot more work to make all those cuts. There's certainly a lot more welds that hold this integrated frame together, but at the end, it's a better setup. Now, there are a few now that are starting to go to the integrated tongue route. Again, there's a lot of setup work involved. Also, typically you don't see a round top V-nose slant nose. If you see a V-nose, normally it's a flat top, and occasionally you'll see a slant nose V-nose. This is also a round top. Very seldom do you see a round top V-nose, let alone a slant nose. Pretty complicated setup. Really neat to see at the plant the jig that these are made on. Pretty slick. Also, you'll see the Neo badging on the front. Just adds a little bit of a flair to it. So we do add the side flow-through vents, I was saying. Silver trailer, this would be a black vent. It's designed for cross ventilation. Intake would be on the front passenger side, and then the outtake would be on the rear passenger side bottom. Also, lots of little details on these. If you look at the stone guard, custom look. Also, you'll notice on the integrated frame, the frame is your perimeter trim. Just makes it look, I think, cleaner than your traditional trim. And then down at the bottom, there's a piece of J that just finishes it out, gives it a nice clean look. You also notice the exterior of the trailer. If it looks a little cleaner, it's because there is no screws. Traditionally, you'd have a 024 or 030 skin, 030 being a little bit thicker. That's what's on this particular unit. But the screws will just give a warp, wavy look to the trailer. Thinner aluminum also gives that same sort of look. Aluminum wheels are technically not standard, but all the Neos that we go through, we do add the aluminum wheels too. 5-1 4.5 log pattern. These all have the newer Easy Lube style hubs behind the center cap there. There's a black rubber cap. Behind that, there's a greaser. Homeowner with basic hand tools can service their own bearings. This has a 205/75 R15 load range C, 6-ply radial tire. Also has brakes on both axles and has the newer style forward adjusting brakes, or some call them self-adjust brakes. They self-tension throughout the life of the pad, so that you never find yourself without brakes. Very minimal maintenance required. Fender mount light. This also has the teardrop fenders, not the straight fenders. Also notice at the top of the trailer, it's a one-piece cove, so front to back, that's all one piece of extruded 080 aluminum. Sometimes in the industry you'll see an 030 that's seamed together. It's a little bit nicer way of doing it. Again, this is the NAV model. Specifically, this is actually an NAVR, R for the round top. It used to be F for the flat top. Neo just very recently has discontinued the flat top models, so you will see the NAVFs phased out, and then the NAVRs are what we're showing here. So another neat feature we like, these are a neoprene hinge. They don't require service. Pretty slick setup. You'll find this trailer overall to be very maintenance free. Aluminum grab handles instead of plastic on this. Also has the thin strip clear lens LED light. Instead of the traditional round bumpers, these are a little bit different style we like on the rear. And then of course your slimline stop turn tail LED. Another little detail with Neos, they don't squeak whenever you open them up. Some of the Chinese hardware, you gotta stay on top of WD-40, but these seem to be a little bit better. So we do have an aluminum grab handle. I'm going to use that to open the door. Now again, technically a barn door is standard. We do ramps pretty much on most all of these Neos. So the first thing you'll notice when I put the ramp door down, this is plywood. Most of the industry is using the OSB, or a lot of times you'll see Advantech, or a lot call it Drymax. Plywood's not as readily available anymore, and certainly generally it comes at a little bit higher cost. But Neo's kind of old school. They use all plywood, and then on some of the models you'll see pressure treated on the sled trailers and ones where you see a lot of water. So it says 3/4 plywood on the floor, it's 3/8 on the walls. So one thing on the NAVR round top, you're going to get a 16 on center wall post standard, where the flat tops were 24. We considered the round tops to be a little bit more commercial duty because of the closer studs on the walls. And then also, these technically come standard with 24 on the floor. We upgrade these to a 16 on center floor. You can tell because at the seam, you've got 2 seams between every sheet instead of just 1. So again, standard 16 on center on the wall, we upgrade to a 16 on center on the floor as well. Now when you go to the round top, because of the round top design and because of that cove, you pick up 6 inches. These are going to be 6'6" inside, where the flat tops are 6 foot. So 6'6" height, 16 on center walls come with the round top, and we upgrade to the 16 on center floor. Got to be careful who's a commercial duty user in aluminum, but these are certainly, we think, one of the better built aluminum in the industry. If somebody is going to use this for commercial, this would probably be one of our better models in a 7,000 pound GVW to go with. You also notice that the wiring is all ran up the nose. The breakaway battery is stored inside, not outside. It's a little different than most. You can see the slant nose basically comes to a header and then branches out. You've got mill finish cove around. Then you'll notice there's 2 dome lights standard on the passenger side. They tie to the wall switch. Now, because this is an aluminum trailer, in the industry, a fair amount of the aluminums do go to a 16 on center roof bow. Traditionally in steel, I'm used to 24, but these are a 16 on center roof. And then you also use an RV style door. If you're not familiar, you can lock it from the inside or the outside. It's got a deadbolt lock, and then it's got a handle lock. Solid core door, not a hollow like generally your strap hinge doors, and then it's got the mill finish on it. So a little bit cleaner look than the one style that you often see. Just keep in mind that folks hauling UTVs are similar. They see 6'6". It's not 6'6" through the door. Very important to know. Every manufacturer does the through the door a little different. Aluminum generally uses tubular headers, which normally are 4-inch. Steel normally uses fabricated, which is 6-inch. So a 6'6" inside height. This unit, everyone's a little different, but this one's probably about 6'3" through the door, in case you're wondering. And then your width. Keep in mind, these are measured outside widths, so 7 foot between spring assist cables. Probably going to be about 5'11". Normally on steel, it's about a 5-inch corner. Aluminum, these are a 4-inch corner. And then your cables come in. So you're going to net on this, probably right around 6, and on a steel, you'd probably be about 5'10". On these. So notice this is a tube corner post again, because this aluminum trailer, it's also got again a little bit smaller header than the steel would need. Also, while we're here, let's take a look at these welds. Neo used a mix of MIG and TIG welds. Clean stuff. These guys, I'm very impressed with the finish quality of their product. There's some other decent aluminum manufacturers out there, but definitely one of the cleaner ones we've come across. Just keep in mind, I said this is a 14-foot trailer. That would be a square box measurement. What I mean by square box is, if you had to square this off, it's 14 foot. Your Vinos on these are going to net you roughly another 24 inches. Depends what you're using it for. That may not all be good usable space because it comes to a V. The width of, say, a four-wheeler, for instance, you might only get about 12 inches of extra usable length. So again, this is an RV style door. I believe that's a 32-inch door. This is also an aluminum holdback. You'll see a lot of plastic in the industry. Aluminum's just a little bit more durable. RV style door gives you the flush hinge, paddle lock door, lock it from the inside or the outside. sticker head underneath this 1 second. I want to show you, NEO used a little bit heavier cross member underneath as well. Some in the industry, we see a 1x2. This is actually going to be a 2x3 cross member underneath. Quite a few in the industry are going to use a 1x2. So a little bit heavier cross member, and then again, we tighten up the cross member spacing on these to make them 16-inch on center. Something like this is going to weigh in around 1,750 pounds, 1,700 pounds, give or take. Normally about 25 to 30% lighter than a comparable size steel, depending on the options. And if you look under a steel trailer, you'll notice cross members are out of fabricated steel, not tube steel like these. It says available in different colors. Shown here is silver frost. We carry this in quite a few different colors. There's about 10 or 11 different colors available. Some of those may be a slight charge. If you have any questions on this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220 or visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com. Thanks for looking.